Hello, my friends. How are you doing today? I hope you all are doing very well. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, just going to be me talking here. I wanted to put out a video this month, and due to one thing or another, had things come up. For example, I wanted to put out a video about the new tech, the chaos tech, some of the officers. Did put out a couple of videos, but as time went on, I started thinking, you know what, I want to this month, this time, for the next video anyways, I wanted to put out, I guess, a more meaningful, impactful video. I've thought about doing this type of video before. I know Rev Deuce does some state of the game videos for the community. He'll have people he'll interview on his videos and so forth. But I just thought, you know what? I've had some fun interacting with more of the community on Discord, on my live streams, which, by the way, have been super fun. Thank you for everyone that's been able to come out to those. I am starting to live stream on both YouTube and Twitch, Thursday and Friday nights. So watch out for that if you haven't paid attention to any of those. I know it's may not always be your thing, but they're fun. They really are. Just coming and hanging out, or just chatting, asking questions, do the best I can to help, things like that. They're super fun, but it gives me a chance anyways to visit the community. And anyways, I thought about these videos for a while, and I thought, you know what, I just want to put out a video, give you my 2 cents for what it's worth, especially with inflation, right? Oh, poor accountant slash dad joke there. Anyways, for what it's worth, I'll put up my thoughts here, my opinion. It's from my point of view, and some, obviously I try to give some point of view from what I think we've talked about either on stream or with players. And after all is said and done, this is just my video, but I would love from the community, I'd love from you to put your comments, your thoughts below. I'd love for you to share this out. It really helps kind of grow the channel. And obviously subscribe if you haven't, and like the video so you can, and hit the bell notifications so you can see future content that I put out. Try to be helpful as much as I can in my videos. But I want to give my thoughts, and when I'm done, just put your thoughts down below. Let me know if I've missed something you think that is important to cover in the state of the game. Maybe your ops level, where you're at, and things that you struggle with or that you wish would see some changes in the game. So without further ado, let's hop into it. Let's talk about it. So my first thing I want to kind of talk about is I have this, whenever Scopely puts out, and this is a little bit gonna maybe get some comments down below, but whenever Scopely puts out new content, I'm sure that they have got to think that, okay, when we, for example, put out a new ship, which is a big thing they do to generate revenue, I'm sure. That's why they keep doing it. Make loops difficult, make them challenging, really, really challenging, unless you buy the ship. Which, once again, I disagree with them taking 3-4 months for you to unlock a ship. I liked how the Protector came out, had some decent sourcing. Honestly, it was faster than I thought it would be free to play. Otherwise, I would have done that free to play, I think. But anyways, whenever they release content, they have to think, okay, at least if I were a business, I would think, okay, I've got this free-to-play demographic, and I've got this pay demographic, and the pay people, they're always going to buy a ship, and the free-to-play, they're always going to complain. Well, that's going to be in the state of every game. But I think that you have to find a balance, and how do you manage those different type of players? I think it's a challenge. I have seen that when they come out with a new ship, they frequently don't say when the free-to-play sourcing is going to come, because I'm certain that they want to find the way to get the most out of the players. How much can we squeeze out of the players? And while I can see that from a business standpoint, the message it sends is that you don't care about the players. Even sometimes the whales complain, because like for example, when tournaments first came out, they're like, I spend on this game. I don't mind spending on this game, but you are literally making it impossible for me to do anything in this unless I spend and spend big and the rewards aren't worth it. And so, how do I put this? It's like they don't even care about the spenders sometimes because they're trying to make the money so much. And so from a business standpoint, I get that, but there has to be a way you can maintain some type of balance where you're authentic as a company, but you're not screwing over your players, especially your spenders. And I have to say it that way because you know that they've got to make money to have the game continue. It's just a fact. If they don't make money, the game's going to close. So how grateful I am for the spenders and low, medium, or high, whatever bracket you fit in. It's interesting. I've had this conversation before and I've had people give me different opinions, but I don't see why they can't offer lower dollar packs. You know, when you first start playing the game, they tease you a little bit with these $5 packs that quickly become $20 and $100 packs, and that's just $100 packs. And so it's kind of crazy to me that why can't you offer like a $20 or $50 pack with half or a fifth of the value? I think that'd be huge. You know, for example, there's been times when I really wanted to get a treasury unlock, but free to play, I didn't quite have the broken de-sealing rods to do it. And so why can't you sell like a $50 pack that gives me half of the de-sealing rods? Well, because Scopely typically, if they're going to give you a $50 pack, they're going to give you less than half value, I think. So, but I would spend that $50. You know, $100 from me and my budget is like, it's a little too much, but 50, it's like, well, I think I can make that work. And my impatience will kick in and I'll buy the pack. So I really don't understand their logic there. I know the only thing I can think of is they're trying to squeeze out of the players as much as they can. So if you're going to buy a pack, it's going to be $100. All right, fine. So I won't spend. And so that's what happens. So, you know, that's just something that I think that they could consider. There's always going to be a difference between the free-to-play and the big spenders and those dolphins, as you call them, in between. I don't mind spending a game if it's fun, have a little bit extra money, and if people have a little bit extra money, they'll spend on the game. So just something to think about. They've got to balance those two. Another thing that I have considered that is something that community keeps bringing up, and that's the stability of the game. And this kind of jumps into my mind a little bit because we always are having crashes, and unless they do major overhauls of the coding or the game, I think that they're going to continue to have crashes. It seems like I've had way more crashes lately than the usual crashes, and I have no clue what it would cost to fix. But here's the rub, or here's the issue, right? If they spend the money to completely fix the game, so there's no lags, what is their incentive? Are they going to be able to sell any packs because they fixed the lag? No. Out of the goodness of our heart, we're going to fix the lag. Now, I know you can say that if the game doesn't fix the lag, that's driving players away. And I agree with you. They probably are, we'll have to look at it and say, for how many players we have coming in compared to how many we have that are not playing as more or as much anymore, at what point do we actually make major changes? So yeah, that's really kind of where the stability, I think, comes in. That even though players are asking for it, unless it becomes a major problem, they won't do anything about it. For example, I remember when Forbidden Tech first came out. Not Chaos Tech, we're talking Forbidden Tech. And remember when the game just crashed and you literally could not get into the game? Attaching Forbidden Tech to your ship basically broke the game. It's like, you're welcome, Scopely, for us being your testers. Yep, but we don't get any compensation for that either. We test your game out and fix your bugs for you. Oh, don't you love that? Anyway, so stability is always going to be an issue, but every time that I launch, start a wave, if I've been in the game for a little bit, like in chat and whatnot, it's like that first wave, I always crash. And so I've gotten in the habit of always like closing out and restarting my game at the beginning of a wave, especially the mirror waves, because I don't want to crash in the first round. And so I know it's going to happen. Another place I see it happens when I'm going through my daily claims. It just gets super laggy, super slow, and it almost always crashes. Sometimes it's just switching to station or switching to like a research screen or whatever. I've seen that happening a lot more lately where it just freezes. It's like, fine. But I've had to reset my game a lot more on a regular basis than I ever have before. Especially the last couple of months. So I feel like the game stability, for me at least, is getting worse. Please let me know how you feel, if your stability is any better, worse, whatever. It better not be better. But if you've noticed the same thing, I'd love to hear from you. Another thought that I've had is that I feel like Scopely's trying to push us by the selling of packs to go up in levels. That is from G4 to G5 to G6. I think the problem they had when they came out with G6 is that they had select whales or players that were going into the area, but then their brackets for the spending events were completely screwed up because they didn't have enough players to create enough brackets in the upper levels. And so I feel like that they're trying to sell some of these packs. I should have written it down. But they have that monthly pack where it significantly increases the speed of your research, the speed of your station. I've never bought those. I've heard some players really like those because it helps push them up. But once again, that's a spending mechanic that Scopely is using. They're taking advantage of. Well, we need to get players up. We know players want to advance until those higher levels, get those bigger ships. So let's monetize that. Okay, that's fine. You're a company, you need to make money. I get it. But until they can get enough players into the G6 area, close to G7, how do they manage those brackets effectively is going to always be a question. So I wonder how well that's going. Myself, I've recently gone into G6 and it is painful. And it's interesting. Even I've been pretty tempted to buy like the Monavine refit in order to help me with more Sigma resources. So certain packs that I've been even eyeing a little bit more just to help me advance. So that's interesting. But I wonder how you all are feeling, if you're feeling that push to go up and what your struggles you might have with that. Bottom line, I really believe this game will go for many more years as long as it keeps making money. My kind of information that I've heard is that that it's still making good money. It's still making good money for the company, so I think they'll keep it going as long as they can keep it going and keep putting these. It's like they put these band-aid fixes on you when what you really need is a full body cast. You know what I mean? You got in this really bad car accident, you go to the hospital, you see these or TV shows or whatever, maybe movies, where you have people in these full body casts, they're in traction because they just had that much damage. Well, I feel like the game's had a whole bunch of damage, but instead of giving us what we need to fix things, the full body cast, they just put band-aids on us and say, okay, you're good, keep going. It's like, what? No, you can't just duct tape me and send me on my way. You need to fix this. So anyways, that's where we're at. But bottom line, and I want to play for you a clip here. Here's a clip of what we were talking about in stream, and I made a comment and we posted it as I think a short on YouTube. But it's going to talk about what we were talking about how important it is to make it fun. Rude! How wooed! Come on, Scopely. Make this a game. Don't make it challenging. You make it easy on me, Scopely, and the rest of the players, and we'll spend more money. You make it hard, and I'm going to go spend it on something else. Oh, come on. And see, there we go. So making it fun, that's what it's really about. If you can make this game fun, you are going to you're going to encourage people to play. If people are having fun, if they're not, and I have to say this too, and maybe that's what prompted this video a little bit, but independent archives, it's definitely to complete them quickly is a spending kind of thing, spending mechanic. It does offer for me Sigma efficiencies, which I like, but what it really does is it gets rid of all these old loops that I still see some value in, but I can't bother doing. Like for me, as a G6 player now, a higher level player, the Monavine was number one for me. Monavine, probably the order for me is probably Monavine, Tally, Talios, Voyager. I close out all those loops, basically, maxed all those ships. But closing out these old loops for players who have max ships, so they can kind of table those and still getting the rewards out of it, is fantastic. That is huge. It's one of the best additions they've had to the game, especially since we've been complaining for probably over a year now. Has it been 2 years? I don't know. For a long time where we're like, where they were going to add quality over quantity. This was definitely quality. Keep adding more stuff to the independent archives to get rid of old loops. You want to engage in the new stuff? Keep bringing out stuff like that, okay? So I had to throw that out there. Because it's not fun doing the old loops. I mean, who wants to spend all day trying to do old loops? Keep finding ways to get rid of the beginning of the game, where I start the game at the beginning of the day, and it takes me 30 minutes just to do my claims. Super annoying. Okay? Super annoying. So ultimately, make it fun, engaging. You keep talking about that, Scopely. You want players to be engaged, so we spend more money. Make it fun, okay? Just find the fun. Now, here's a clip of a song I want to share with you too. It's a song that I came up with, but here's a clip of the song that I think really just spells it out. Find the joy, that's what it's about. Find the joy, that's what it's all about. Find the joy, everyone. Now, whether they make these changes or not is completely not even up to me. What I would suggest to all the players, because I do love this game, I love the community, is if you're finding that you're too stressed out because you're doing too much in the game, cut back. Find the joy. If Scopely won't make the changes, you make the changes. You cut back, you take your time, take it easy, do what you have to slow down so you don't get burnt out. If they're not going to make the game enjoyable with the content they're going to release, which I wish they would, don't stop doing this stupid copy-paste stuff, okay? If you make this game fun, people will play it. If you make it a chore, you make it like another job, they will not. Okay? So find the joy. That's what it's all about, my friends. Find the joy. Whether Scopely does it or you do it, do what's fun for you in the game. You don't have to do every loop that comes out. Find what's fun for you and you do that. Okay, last thing I want to talk about, 3 things I would suggest that that Scopely, and I kind of talked about that a little bit here. They need to find a way to make stability better. If they don't completely fix it, please make it better. This constant crashing is really getting annoying. Add genuinely fun things to the game. Don't add things like for example, tournaments. You add tournaments to the game and it's just another chore for us to do. It's really still a spender's paradise in my opinion. But add fun things to the game. You want to create a dungeon crawl like Mirror Universe? It failed because it wasn't like most dungeon crawls I've played where you have rewards along the way. Things where you can work with your alliance on. Tournaments, you're not working with your alliance on it. Not really. I mean, you kind of are because you're getting points together, but it's not like a task where I can work with someone on. That would be kind of interesting, don't you think, where you had a task to go out and kill like 100 hostiles, but you signed up as a group and you all went to like, I don't know, a system and you knocked them out. I don't know, but doing cooperative things that really make it fun, where you're engaging and communicating with your alliance mates. Maybe your game isn't designed to do some of the things that you want, but it just feels like this continual copy paste. And it feels like all you can add to the game are chore type things that are just mundane. So if you could find another way to add some fun things to the game, that would be fantastic. Okay. Last thing I will mention is this. Any business that gets in this rut of pushing out content they think will sell, as opposed to making content that is fun that will sell, is a dying company. And let me explain. If you can truly get into the psyche and understand what the players want rather than what you think is going to sell, then you can develop content that the players really are going to find enjoyable and people will buy. So don't push stuff just because you think it's going to sell. Don't design content just because you think it's going to sell. If you understand what the players want, you fulfill that want, they will come. Okay? That's what Field of Dreams is all about, Kevin Costner. When at least in part, where it's like, if you build it, they will come. Build a fun game. Start from this point. Find what the players really detest, like all these loops. You're getting rid of those. I appreciate that. Fill it with fun things to do. Not what you think will sell, but fun things to do. Build that, and the players will come. I promise you. Okay, everyone. Thanks for the longer video today, hanging out with me as I'm just kind of chatting through some of these things. But that's my thoughts on the state of the game. What do you think? As far as the state of the game goes, what do you think? Are there things I've missed that you think, Grand Admiral Hunter, there's some really important stuff you missed? Leave in the comments below. I want to hear from you. Let's get this pushed out there. Last plug, please remember to like, subscribe, share this video. Hit that bell notification, but share this video with your alliance mates, and let's get this video out there. I want to just get us talking, and as you feel appropriate, not just below, but feel free to send a ticket into Scopely. You don't need to rant and rave and use cuss words, but just say, hey, this is where I think the game is right now. Here's the changes we as the players really want to see. Please make it happen. And if everyone does that, maybe we'll see some changes. Now, someone's going to say, Grand Admiral Hunter, they don't care anymore. Well, I'm still going to try and be a defender or a fighter for the people as much as I can. And it's only up to the community and what you're able to do, what I encourage you to do, that can hopefully move the needle in a direction we want it to go and make this game more fun. So anyways, live long and prosper, my friends. I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend, and I look forward to reading your comments.